defensive, and you immediately raised your tone and ramrodded the damn thing down our throat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We sat here and watched it. And I've sat here and watched every vote that has come through. You know who forwards everything and makes the motions? You. Everybody on this council looks over at you to see what you're doing.
No.
It leads me to believe that
Yes.
none of you belong there because you're not willing to step up. And I'm a little bit disappointed in you, Bill. Because when you have a council member that's ramrodding people and forcing his way on everybody else, I think it's your responsibility as the leader to say, hey, wait a minute. Let's give Misty a chance to speak and do what she's wanted to do.
Maybe that's not his agenda.
Very, very disappointed in the way it's handled. Very disappointed.
Okay, so I apologize if I came across like that. I guess I was trying to understand from her point of view, what was she wanting to see? And then it was simply just the spreadsheet. And once she saw the spreadsheet, I think she felt confident,
I
obviously.
understand it, but she wouldn't have, if she would have just shut up and let this steam roll through, it would have just rolled through, and her opinion and her wanting to see the numbers would have went by the wayside. So I'm only saying that because it concerns me. If that's how you're handling those large dollars, $200 or $400 some odd $1,000, what are the things have we not seen that have come through that have been passed through of no one double checking them? That's my concern. As a citizen, my tax dollars are going somewhere.
Oh, yeah, you're hitting on it right there.
So
It's the
it's
tax dollars.
disappointing, and apparently we need to start attending more of these meetings, which I plan on it. But you all need to be held accountable. You're elected, you're in this position. If one of your members is questioning whether or not the numbers are accurate and wants to know what the digs are on it, you should all be in support of that. You should have all said, oh yeah, okay, do you have your numbers? And when you're dealing with numbers, woulda, coulda, shouldas, or close enoughs don't count. My bank account doesn't look at it that way. If I don't have enough money in my bank account, they kick things out, right? And I say that I'm shrinking this down into a very small world, but it's concerning. I generally don't attend these meetings because I rely on the people that I've elected. Well, obviously, I need to start attending.
Please do. We always want people to attend because in the past we haven't had a whole lot of attendance. And we're happy to see more people here.
And that's
And
what
and
needs
our
to happen.
contact
But
information
it's
is
just-
available.
it's
Reach out to us if you
very,
got questions.
very concerning, very concerning, very concerning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Yes. Mac Ellis, 1641 Street Drive, right? You all have seen some of my FOIA requests. If he's disappointed, I'm even more so. There's not a one of you that understands that you're supposed to be representing the taxpayers. I'm not opposed to these city workers or anybody else getting the money that is due them. But that comes out of our tax-paying dollars. You didn't, like he said, you just steamrolled it right through. You didn't even give the consideration that maybe, they need a bonus, sure. But does the private sector, do they go to the government and get money from the taxpayers?
Actually, with this, if a business wants to request a grant, they can.
All right, let me tell you how I stand on this. 10 years ago, my family, two members of my family, the federal government was giving away greenhouses. If you had so much property, you go get a greenhouse. Corporate welfare. Two of my family members, they're dead set against welfare, but they went and got them some greenhouses. That's not right. I don't care how you cut it. It's not right. It comes out of taxpayer money. I'm a taxpayer, and I don't appreciate it. And I did reach out to every one of you. In fact, you, Darren, I reached out and talked to you and requested as my council member
Mm-hmm.
to meet and discuss this.
I responded to you by email, yes.
You certainly
I didn't
did.
ignore you, I responded to you by email.
You certainly did. And when it was put about the, charger, what did you tell me
The
about
charger-
that charger? When I asked you, fine, y'all voted on the charger last time after you'd already tabled and wasn't,
So I responded
wasn't
with,
solid on getting the, lieutenant yet.
I
But you went ahead
responded
and
with,
got the charger anyway, didn't you?
yeah, so I responded with, it's very difficult to get vehicles, when we can get one, we need to purchase it. We already are going to look at purchasing 3 vehicles next year, so if we don't approve the lieutenant position, we reduce the 3 vehicles for next year to 2, because we purchased 1 this year. That's what I responded.
Was that what was said in the last meeting? Or did all of that come about after the vote?
No, it didn't come about after the vote. When you know stuff ahead of time, when you participate with budget discussions, you know what we're looking at in the future.
And we also looked at the price, what the price was gonna be if we had to wait till next year, and we would have saved the taxpayers money by buying that vehicle at the price that we.
Because-
Okay, if you wanna talk about saving the taxpayers, how much did you save the taxpayers tonight?
I believe that money is it's earmarked from the government under an umbrella amount.
Where does the government get the money?
Yeah, it's
I guarantee
taxes.
you, the government can't give you anything that they don't first steal from us.
It
Okay.
comes under the CARES Act, and
Can I
I
ask you a
believe that is,
question?
Sure.
yes, it's federal.
Were
money.
we supposed to just go ahead and just send the money back and say, our people don't deserve it?
No,
That would've saved-
no,
that
no,
would've
no,
saved
no,
the
no, nobody
taxpayers
said
money.
they didn't deserve it. That's not what was said.
So we paid them, but yet we wasted taxpayers' money by paying them.
Let's take this to a level that we'll all understand. You're, like, first man said, you're micro what, the whole government is, the federal government is. You're to us what the federal government is to the state. And we've all seen how the federal government has just wasted. And they couldn't care less about what you think, what I think, or what you think, Bill. And if you think they do, you're just sadly mistaken. But that's the way that y'all have made us feel. Because we wind up paying the taxes. And no, nobody said that you should just say, oh, well, you don't deserve it. Nobody said they didn't deserve it.
Well,
You wanna know a workable solution to it?
If you would've been here in my seat.
I would have tried to find a different solution. I would have spent the time to research how you could do that without, and maybe you would give it back to the government. Let's don't just keep cranking up the printing presses and charging more taxes. Because I tell you what's gonna happen, you're gonna take this country plumb down. And I, for one, and I've seen, and you're sitting over here shaking your head, Mr. Rabel, and I saw your post, about the, veterans and all, and I appreciate that. I also saw your post about the young lady that, was the waitress up there and at the bottom of that, it said, her attorney said, don't post on this, don't do this, because it's gonna cause problems. You, as a elected official of this city, why did you feel the need to repost it.
I'm helping her attorney.
And it is in her best interest to repost this even though they have told her not to.
And that's what her attorney believes, but that's a business that's not related to
As
the
a
city.
city official, that's where it comes in to play. As a city official, it's hard for most people to distinguish what is going to get the city in trouble and what's not. Because you as a city official, in a lot of instances, maybe this isn't one of them, but in a lot of instances, you don't need to be stirring the pot.
Sorry, are you saying that because I'm a city
Yeah.
official,
Time.
I lose my
We need
right
to
of
respect
freedom
all
of speech?
citizens' time. If we got more individuals that wanna speak,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
thank you.
Do you want to say anything? Anyone else?
I would like to ask real quick.
Come on to the podium.
Okay, sorry.